What's going on, fight fans? It's your host Sebastian, and welcome back to the Boxing Tip. Now, once again, I hope everybody enjoyed a beautiful night of boxing yesterday. I know I did. I had a great time. Even battling this little sickness that I'm going through right now, didn't discourage me from having a great time last night watching boxing. So, I hope everybody enjoyed it as well. But let's go ahead and talk about this fight. Now, I think a majority of people picked the outcome right on this fight, but I don't think people expected it to go the way that it did, And I don't really know, I don't have too much to say about this fight, but, I'll just kind of touch down on a couple of things. First off, Miguel Roman came out a lot more vicious and a lot more offensive than I thought he would initially come out, And when I break down, in my breakdown and prediction fight for this, for this fight and the Vargas fight, I said that there wasn't too much to break down technically because, there's not a lot that was to be broken down technically, but there was a couple of things that I probably should have mentioned and, a couple of things that I didn't foresee exactly. I didn't realize that Takashi Miura didn't like to fight on the inside. I didn't. For some reason, I was under the impression that he was more of an inside fighter. I guess not. He did do some inside fighting, towards the late rounds, but I think that's just due to how shot he was, how spent he was, didn't really have the energy to do some moving around. So, that's something that I probably could have mentioned to you guys beforehand, but, I was just so sold that it was going to be an action-packed fight, which it was. So, congratulations to Takashi Miura for fucking showing some serious heart and staying in there and getting the job done, But I'll talk a little bit more about Takashi Miura individually later on in the video. But about the fight, it started off, as expected. Guys, kind of getting off their offense. Not a lot of defense going on. I think if someone had the better defense, it would probably go to Miguel Roman. Just simply because of his guard. And Takashi Miura, for some, he wasn't throwing at a really high volume. He kind of was searching for a one-punch knockout the entire night. It seemed like there was some times where he would rally, and come back with a good combination. But, by the time he started throwing combinations, he was already spent. You know what I mean? He was exhausted. Both guys were exhausted. They had their mouths open by like the third, fourth round already. It's not necessarily a good look for Takashi Miura, but, like I said, I'll talk about that here in a little bit. And I think people were so certain, and even I was, I'm not gonna separate myself. I'm gonna include myself in this statement, but I think a lot of people were really sold on Takashi Miura obliterating this guy. I was, for sure. I told you guys that I didn't think Miguel Roman would last very long. I did say Takashi Miura would knock him out, so I guess, a lot of people do deserve a lot of credit for predicting the knockout. But for a long time there, I was not sure if Takashi Miura was going to make it through, One thing that I could say about my breakdown about this fight when I made the video is that I did say it was going to be a war of wits, of, who can outlast the other guy, you know what I'm saying? And it basically seemed like it, that's how the fight was going. It was just who can outlast the other guy. And for a while there, I was thinking like, man, all it's gonna take is a couple of good body shots from Miguel Roman, and man, Takashi Miura might just be out of this. He looked like he was getting hurt to the body. He looked like he was even taking some, getting hurt off of some headshots from Miguel Roman as well, man. And it was crazy, man. He was jumping out on the inside, really forcing Takashi Miura to fight outside of his comfort zone, and it was really effective for him for a while. But then out of Takashi Miura being the type of fighter that he is, that warrior mentality, I will die in this fucking ring before you knock me out. You'll have to kill me to get me out of here. I feel like that's the type of mentality that he has. And then, I thought it was a done deal. I thought Miguel Roman had this shit in the bag, for a while there. And then out of nowhere, he just does, he rallies back, throws this nice-ass body shot, knocks down Miguel Roman. And then at that point, Miguel Roman looked finished, and it just looked like a matter of time. And then, Takashi Miura, he pulled out everything that he had left, man, and then just really put it into those last few rounds. I really thought his corner was going to stop the fight. I didn't think he was going to be able to get out of that corner a couple of times, man. So, this is the type of shit, the suspenseful type of shit. You expected the way this fight was going to play out. You knew this fight was going to be an action-packed fight. A war of guts, a war of heart, a war of wits. You know what I'm saying? But even then, you still are, on the edge of your seat, like, oh my God, is he gonna make it? You know what I'm saying? Like, when the fuck is the ref gonna jump in, or when is the corner gonna stop it? When is that towel gonna get thrown in? It's constantly on your head, and it could be a little frustrating at times because you just want it to end. You want to see how the big finish is gonna turn out, but it never happens. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't happen until, like, what was it, the 11th, 10th, 11th round? Maybe even the 12th round? I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what round it ended at. I'm pretty sure it was like the 11th. I could be wrong, though. But, I thought Miguel Roman was going to pull it off there for a while, man. And then, seeing Takashi Miura come back and he just not giving up. He's screaming, like, fucking grunting really loud when he's throwing punches. And, you know what I'm saying? Hiya! Like, fucking... You know what I'm saying? Like, fucking really, he was really grunting when he was throwing those punches, man. That's a sign of exhaustion, But, goddamn, I can compliment his heart all day, dude. The man is he's a beast, man. He trucks through that punishment, and he trucks through his own exhaustion, and he has, like, some, never fucking, he has, like, a never dying fucking will, you know what I'm saying? His will never leaves him. He's always ready to get back into that ring, or step back into the, get in the trenches with his opponent and fucking go out there and bang it out, man. And it's that's the upside to this whole thing, but the downside is, and this is kind of what I was mentioning earlier, is that how much more fights like this does Takashi Miura have? We know. I'm not going to be a spoiler if you haven't seen the fights yet, or if you haven't already known, but we know what happened to another particular boxer from being in too many wars and taking too much damage. The lacerations to his face and just too much punishment will catch up with you over time. Takashi Miura definitely looks like he's been in too many wars. Even fucking Miguel Roman, man, he's had, almost 60 fights in his life, man. You know what I'm saying? And he doesn't look like he's a, soft guy either. He looks like he's been in some fucking wars too. He's a real rugged motherfucker. But, unfortunately, I don't see Takashi Miura moving very far off of this victory, And it's not to discredit him in any way, man, because like I said, you can never say anything. You can never doubt this guy's heart. You can never doubt this guy's willingness to go out there and fight. He's definitely got that. Might not be the most skilled boxer, out there, and he definitely isn't the best boxer out there, but, sometimes it's not, when you talk about entertainment, Takashi Miura is a very entertaining fighter, so I think that's how he's been able to, be so relevant, even in defeat, you know what I mean? But I don't see him moving very far, even off of this victory. It's a good comeback win for him, but I don't see him moving. I don't see too much momentum from here on out, man. I think really it's only a matter of time before he hangs him up. Honestly, I just, when your arms are just hanging by by your waist, and you're throwing everything you got into every punch that you can throw. You can't move. You're breathing out of your mouth. Your eyes are swelling up. You're grunting when you're throwing your punches. Every punch that hits you looks like it's hurting you so bad, but you're just withstanding that beating to just get this win. I don't see him. I just see it being only a matter of time before Takashi Miura really thinks about stepping in that ring again. You know what I'm saying? It's unfortunate, because I like Takashi Miura, man, and I've always enjoyed his fights. As a boxing fan, like I said, I always like the technical stuff. I like the chess matches as much as anybody else, but believe me, man, I need some phone booth type action in my life when it comes to boxing, because it's entertaining as fuck, it's something about blood and gut intense type fights, phone booth action type fights, man, you can't get enough of it, man. I mean, okay, like I said, I do like the chess matches. Those are my favorite type of fights, man. But I do like the phone booth, the action, the blood and guts, the beating. You know what I'm saying? I like that, almost as much. You know what I'm saying? So it would be very unfortunate to see Takashi Miura retire or end up taking another fight and just taking another hellacious beating. I don't think it's good for his health. I know this is the hurt business, man, but he's paid his dues in pain. You know what I'm saying? He's taken enough punishment in his career. He's taken enough hurt in his career. I think Takashi Miura should really either maybe cash out in his next fight if he can, or just hang him up, man. Be done. He's not what is he? He's not very young. I think he's in his 30s now, so fuck it, man. You got plenty of time to move on and do plenty of productive shit in your life. You're not so far gone to where you gotta retire or something, but you're still young enough to where you can still make something good of yourself. And then, not to mention that you've been in some very exciting fights, very entertaining boxer for a very large number of years now. So why not just move on with your life? The hurt business has hurt you enough. You've paid your dues, man. Much respect to Takashi Miura. I know I'm talking like he's gonna retire, guys. He's probably not going to. Knowing him, man, he's probably thinking about the next time he can get in the ring. Who knows? That motherfucker's a warrior. But nevertheless, I don't feel like he should continue, man. I think this should be it. Much respect to the guy, but I can't imagine him fighting again and looking any better than he did in this fight, and that's not even a negative. I'm not trying to mean that in a negative way either. I'm just saying, I don't think he has much left as a fighter. I think he's, like I said, had the hurt business has really put a hurt on him, and he's paid his dues. You know what I'm saying? In pain. I don't think he should continue on, but that's just my opinion, of course. But let me know what you guys think, man. That's all I got for you guys on this one. I didn't want to spend too much time talking about this. I went a little bit longer than I wanted to, but I figured there were some things that should really be mentioned. Also to compliment Takashi Miura for pulling out with the victory in this fight. It was an ugly fight. It was it was a war of who can outlast the other, man. But I respect Takashi Miura for stepping back inside of that ring, man, and giving us all an entertaining fight, man. And I respect him as a fighter. I think, like I said, he's paid his dues in this business. I think it's time for him to hang him up. But let me know what you guys think on the situation about the fight. Also, subscribe to the channel. Share the video with your boxing homies. Introduce somebody to boxing. 2017 is looking like a fucking awesome year for boxing so far. We had some already good fights happening in just the first month, so what more can you ask for? We need some more. You know what I'm saying? Don't let any of your boxing buddies miss out on any more action in 2017. We might not get good cards like we did last night, or like we did on the DeGale Badu Jack fight. We might not get that same type of action or that type of excitement. Who knows? Probably, more than likely we will, but if we don't, then that'd be very unfortunate. I'm not, I'm optimistic, so I treat every fight like it's gonna be a fucking, barn burner. But like I said, just make sure you introduce somebody to boxing. That's all I got for you guys on this one. Talk to you on the next one. Peace out.